Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich. Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich.
Hey, welcome everybody. We have Nando in the house. There we go. Nando. And welcome to Knuckle Sandwich MMA. Now, we had a great fight. I do want to touch on this before we begin, guys, because last week's card, come on. What's
Hectic, hectic. Yeah. I didn't know what was going on until like 2 hours before the event. I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Yeah, it was nuts. They canceled the presser. I don't want to spend too much time on this, other than the fact that it was chaos, extreme chaos. And as Nando said, I didn't even know what was happening within 2 hours of the event actually happening. And I don't think anybody knew. Maybe the people at UFC behind the scenes knew, but wow, it was crazy. And they 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 shuffled the whole main card. What's your thoughts on that, Nando?
I liked the new fights. I thought they were good. I liked Diaz versus Ferguson. It was a good fight. It was, they were kind of messing around. I think the only real loser in my mind was the Leech. I didn't like the fight. I think they should give him another good fight. I don't think that was fair to him. I thought he even won the fight. Hamzat went in there and just took Holland down. Didn't even get a punch. Took him right to the ground.
Do you remember what I said last week, though? I said if Hamzat comes in and takes him down right away, he's going to win because they're dry. He's not getting away. And Holland tried. He tried his darndest to get out of there, but he was stuck to him like the leech, no pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so a crazy card, but we have a fantastic card this weekend, and I'm really excited about it. When I started to go over the fights, Nando, I was liking the matchups. What are you thinking about the overall matchups before we get into the individual matches? What did you think about the lineup?
I liked it. I like the lineups. I think it's not gonna move anybody in any particular direction. Maybe one or two up, but I like it. It's a good fight card. I want to see what Sandhagen can do now. He had two tough fights. I like Song Dong, and I like a lot of the other fights too.
All right. Well, let's go over the prelim card, and we're just going to touch on those and then do a dive into the main card. We have Nicholas Mota versus Cameron Van Camp. And Nicholas is favored at minus 205 to Van Camp's plus 175. Should be a good fight there. And then we have Tony Gravely, and he is fighting David Bashara. Now, if you saw the Contender Series, Nando, Javid Bashara's brother, he got a contract this past Tuesday. So you got two brothers in the UFC, and
Mhm.
I understand both of these guys. Well, I saw the younger brother come in, and they're both beasts, I believe. So Tony Gravely has his work cut out for him. I'm not going to pick on that one because we're not going to pick until we get to the main card because we got a lot to cover, my friend. But that's going to be a good fight. I'm anxious to see. I like Tony Gravely too. He's a pretty good striker, and I think it's going to be an interesting fight. And then we've got Maria Agapova versus Jillian Robertson. And Jillian is a pretty good wrestler. She's got some good submission skills. She's at minus 145 to Agapova's plus 125. So that should be a good fight. And
They're both from ATT. They're both from American Top Team.
oh, I did
And
not know that.
Roberts is training with Dean Thomas for this fight.
Good point. I like that because now there's tension in the camp. I can see that. All right, and then we have Trey Ogden, and I'm sure he's not from Ogden. He could be. Who knows? Trey Ogden versus Daniel Zellhuber. from Mexico. Daniel Zellhuber from Mexico. What?
Yeah, he's 12 and 0 right now.
Maybe it's Zellhuber. No, that's French. Zellhuber. No, that's Russian. I don't know, man.
I don't know. It might be German. There is German people in Mexico, Mexico City. I watched a documentary about it.
You see, guys, this is why Nando is my sidekick, because he's got stats nobody even thinks about. And I like it. I love it. Okay, so there's no odds on that fight listed on the UFC page. And then we've got Denise Gomez versus Loma Lukbunmi. And I have seen Loma fight before, and this chick, for lack of a better term, don't take it as a slight, is a dog. She can scrap. She is tough. She doesn't quit. So that's going to be interesting. But Denise Gomez has a minus 230 advantage over a plus 125, 195 Loma. So that should be a good fight.
You know what was weird about this?
What's that?
Is that Loma Luke Boomy or whatever? That's her like fighter name. Her real name is like something totally different. So I was looking all over the place trying to find something, and her real name is like a Japanese name. So I don't know what that means, but that's her like fighter name. It's like her nickname.
That's that's a fighter name? Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, her real name is something else. I can look it up later, but
I think you should translate it in Google and see what Luke Boone means. It might be vicious killer. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to go to the prelims, and let's touch a little bit on this, because this is a good prelim card as well. We've got Aspen Ladd versus Sarah McMahon. Wow. And this fight, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nando, this fight has been rescheduled a few times.
Yeah. Aspen Ladd is ranked 7th. Didn't show what Sarah McMahon is. She's got to be in the top 10.
She's 8. She's listed as 8.
She's listed as 8. She's 41 years old, so this a lot older than I thought. Yeah. But I remember her fighting in Invicta. I remember her fighting. I originally started seeing her. So I think she was not the champion, but she was in Strikeforce, and that was when the whole Ronda Rousey Miesha Tate thing started. I think Miesha Tate took the title from Sarah McMahon.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right on that one. Okay, so we've got Aspen Ladd as the odds-on favorite. It's not a big spread, but it's a minus 135 to Sarah McMahon's plus 115. So it's not, that one can go either way. I'm going to ask you, Nando, because we got to do the walk of shame this time, man, for next week. So who are you picking on this fight right here?
I mean, if Aspen Ladd listens to her coach, and everybody doesn't get all over her coach, but sometimes you got to put a fire under her butt because she doesn't listen, and she does the same thing. But I think Sarah McMahon's wrestling is better, but I think she's smaller because Aspen Ladd was fighting at featherweight, if I remember. I don't know if she fought for the title, but she was fighting at 155. And I think this is like bantamweight.
Yep, it's bantamweight.
I'm going to go with Sarah McMahon.
Sarah McMahon? Okay. I am going to go with Nando. I think Nando is wise in this. I think the wrestling is going to be the factor, the X factor. So I'm going to go with McMahon as well. Next, we have Trevin Giles versus Luis Cosque. And Trevin Giles, he's a veteran. Luis is a newbie. I think he won last season, or he came on board last season's Contender Series. And Trevin is at minus 205, and Lewis is at plus 175. But I'm telling you this, man, that dude is like a tank. Lewis is no slouch. He's strong. He moves forward. I think Trevin's got a little bit more style, a little bit more expertise, if you will. What are your thoughts?
I think you're probably right. I mean, Luis Koskov He lost his last fight. He's 4-5. He's 7-1, so he's doing very well. Trevin Giles is 30. He's 14-4. He's 3-5. So I think it's gonna be a close fight. I don't remember if I looked at the videos on this one.
Okay. So who you pick? I'm not. Do you want me to go first on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go first. I am going to. Oh man. Oh man. I'm going to go with Lewis. I'm going to go with Lewis. I like Trevin. I really love his style, and but I'm going to go with Lewis because I think he's got to prove a point.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Trevin then. I'm gonna go with Trevin. I'm gonna see. I mean, he's got more experience. I think he's at a loss, but I think 3-5 is still pretty good.
Okay, and I think the other factor for me is the strength. I think Lewis he's a strong dude, man, very very strong. So that's another factor for me. All right, next up on the prelims, we have Damon Jackson versus Pat Sabatini. And we have a plus 160 for Jackson and a minus 190 for Sabatini. And I think, do you have a stat on whether they came off of wins or losses?
Pat Sabatini is at a 7-fight win streak right now. He's 17-3. Damon Jackson is 34. He's 21-4, 4-5. So I don't know if his last fight. I think his last fight was a win. And his nickname is the Leech, but he needs to get something else because there's only one Leech right now. You know what I mean? It's not like the pit bull or something.
That's right. Well, okay, so I just looked at his record. They're both coming off of wins, just so you know. And we have, I'm going to let you go first on this one. Who you got to win this one?
Sabatini. I think he's got the momentum in his side.
Okay, I'm going to go with Damon Jackson on this one. I think Damon Jackson is that leg reach is a kind of a big factor. We got 3.5-inch advantage there, and he's a. I don't know now. I'm changing. Now I'm doubting myself because they're both good grapplers, but I think Sabatini is a better wrestler. I'm going to change midstream, and not because of Nando. Just so you folks know that are watching, I'm not changing because of Nando.
Come on board.
But I'm going to go. I'm changing midstream, and I'm going to go back to. I'm going to go with Sabatini, man. All right, now, my friends, we are at a main card, and there's 6 fights on the main card.
Yeah.
Nando, take it away, my friend.
Okay, the first fight on the main card is Anthony Hernandez and Marc-Andre Barrat. He's 32. He's Sanford MMA. He's 4-5. He's a really, really good boxer. He's more of like a kind of like not wing it, but he's more precise. Anthony Hernandez is a great boxer too, but he's more of like an inside boxer. He's not like a kind of. He lost to Kevin Holland. He's 3-5. I think it's gonna be Marc-Andre Barrat. I think if he can keep the distance and get those good heavy shots, I think he might pull out a win. But you never know, if you start feeling yourself, there's nothing worse than an inside jab to, people don't think of a jab, but we've seen it time and time again where a jab will just take a guy out. Just a clean, precise jab.
Yep, 100%. I like Hernandez. I love his style. I think he's very exciting. I think Baralt is he's not as flamboyant and flashy. He gets the job done. He hits hard, but Hernandez hits hard too. But I'm going to go with style over substance this time, and I'm going to go with Hernandez on this one.
Okay. Okay, next one.
Wait, who you got?
I said in the beginning, I have Marc-Andre Barat.
You know, Fernando,
Okay.
I,
What?
I'm trying to work with you, man.
Okay.
Okay, let's move along because
Whatever.
and guys, next week we're doing the walk of shame because remember who picked who, okay?
Okay.
Because Nando is going to pay big time. All right, let's go on.
Okay, Tanner Balzer is 31. Rodrigo Namacento is 29. He's 8-1. He's 3-5. His last fight was uh a no contest. He won, and then he got busted for Ritalic acid, but I wasn't sure exactly what that means. I don't know how that would be a performance enhancing drug, but he has really heavy hands. Tanner Bosner is 31. He's 20-8. He's 3-5. He lost to Andre Orlovsky, Latifi, and he had a win over OSP. I mean, he has a good right, good leg kicks. He's Canadian, which is, there's a good amount of Canadian fighters coming through. I don't know. I like Rodrigo, but I don't know. I mean, I think he might have took this medicine for something that, and he didn't tell, because I asked my wife about it and I asked my daughter, and they said that's more of like a form of Ritalin, and they don't think it would be performance enhancing if he's prescribed it. If he's not prescribed, then it would be enhancing drug. But I think he has heavy hands. He goes in there, he lets it all out, and I think, that's a tough. I'll let you pick first.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, I did see an interview with Tanner Bozier yesterday, and he was mentioning that substance, and he also confirmed that it was a performance enhancer. And he said he's already fought guys that have been on performance enhancing drugs, and he doesn't care. I am going to go with Tanner Bozier on this one because he's been out for a year, a little bit over a year, I believe, and he is hungry, man. He is hungry to get back into that win column. His last fight was a win, but when you're gone a year, that's a big deal. And I think he's hungry to come back and showcase his talents. Both of them hit hard, but I like Tanner Bozier in this one. I think he's going to win this one by a KO.
KO. Okay. I'm gonna go with Rodrigo because I still think he hits hard. He hits hard. I don't think the performance enhancing drug is gonna stop the fact that he can knock somebody out cold. You know what I mean?
That's true. They both hit hard. But here's the thing. This is what's going to make the walk of shame even easier. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Okay, now the next fight was Josh Pyre. Is that how you say his name?
Piper.
And Alan Amansky, 34, 8-3. He has a 3-loss streak. He's a fast Russian berserker, I wrote down here, and good in sambo. I didn't see really anything about the Josh guy. I saw there was an interview, but I didn't listen to it. Did you listen to the interview?
Yeah, I didn't sit through the whole thing. So yeah, but debuts are hard. They're hard to get, really gauge unless you go back and see where they fought previously. But even then, you just don't know the level of competition.
I couldn't find anything on any website about it. Like, I went on multiple websites. I went on YouTube to see if there was some fights I could see. And so gonna have to go with Allen because I know more about him. I've seen his style; that's very good. It's that Russian sambo, but you never know with the debut. I mean, he might come out of nowhere and be really good. It's hard to gauge something like that.
Well, I don't think that they bring on too many slouches into UFC, so he's probably going to be pretty good.
Especially at a main card. If it was a debut in the lower prelims, I'd understand. But he's what is he?
He's
Third on the bill. He's third on the fight card, so he's got to be good. I would watch it if I was you, the fans. I would watch this because this is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, and you want to always check out the debuts because interesting to see. They have something that they have to prove that they belong in the UFC when they debut, and so they're going to give a little bit of extra. I believe, in my opinion, so they're going to go out and be more aggressive. More stylish, not so cautious. They're going to go and mix it up. So I think you're right, Nando. This is going to be a good fight.
Yeah, and this one's going to be at the Apex, so the crowd isn't really going to. They're just going to be there showcasing what they're doing.
Good point, and that's a good point. So because you did convince me, I'm going to go opposite of you once again. I'm going to go with the debut.
Oh, really?
Just because of what you said on the position of the card that they're in. That's going to be an exciting fight. Otherwise, they'd be at the bottom of the early prelims, right?
Right.
So I'm going to go with Joe Pyfer on this one, and that's the only reason is because where you said they are on the card, that makes sense.
Yeah, the next one's Andre Touchy Feely, 32 versus Bill Alagio, 33. His last fight, if you remember, he went in there and almost, I'm talking about Bill, almost got submitted by Herbert Burns, Gilbert Burns' brother. And then he just broke that guy to the point where the guy just
he was
couldn't
crying.
even get up, crying. And then the referee had to say, okay, this is enough, get out of here. Because they didn't even interview him. They were like, everybody was so disgusted. His brother was like, meet me in the locker room. I don't even want to walk back because I'm so upset. Like,
talk about the walk of shame. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and Andre Fili is team alpha male. He's been with there. He's one of 5, 21-9. His streak right now is lost, no contest, lost. But he did beat Charles Jourdain, which is a tough guy. So if you fight Charles Jourdain, and you beat him, that is good. He is very, he's very fluid. He has that alpha male style where it's the punches, the kicks to the legs, and I like that. He's been with him for a while, so I'm gonna see what happens. I remember watching him on a podcast in 2010 when I was still in San Diego, about them talking to him about his fighting style. So he's been around for a while, and I think it's hard. I'll let you go first.
Oh, you were right there, and you chickened out.
Okay. I'll go. I'm gonna go with Bill Alagio because I think to me it proved that he has really good heart and he has very good defense because Herbert Burns was putting a clinic on him, and he got through that first round, and I think Herbert gassed out. He was going for broke.
Yeah.
And I think he didn't have anything, lactic acid, and then he just gave up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cried, but I would have been very upset. I might have just tapped and kept my dignity.
Well, I think in that fight, Herbert was catching hell from his corner. I think Gilbert was raining on him, man, while he was getting his butt handed to him. Don't you quit! You better not quit! I'm gonna, because you could hear that, and I think that helped break him. That didn't give him, drive to fight back. I think he was just that helped break him too. So here's my analysis. Love Touchy Feely, one of the best fight names in the business. Andre Touchy Feely, you gotta love that. He looks good. He's a scrapper. He's a good striker. He's been in the game a long time, and I like his style. He's very exciting to watch no matter what. He's always exciting to watch. Bill, Algeo, I like him too. I think he's also got a huge heart. I'm going to pick Bill because Andre Feely's been knocked out a few times. And I think that the glass jaw is real. Once that jaw turns to glass, it's always there for the taking. And I think if you look at through the history of a lot of these fighters that start getting knocked out, they keep getting knocked out, and that's hard to get away from, I think. And once your opponent knows that, and they can get in and hit and connect with that jaw, I don't know, man. It could be lights out at any moment. And I'm going to go with Algeo on this one. I think he dominates him with either a unanimous decision or a TKO.
Okay. Next one is, how do you say his name? Chidi Nakwagani?
Yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
And then Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop, which I forgot that's who it was. This guy is crazy. RoboCop is really good. He's that Vitor, like berserker style. He's great Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I was watching a lot of things on him. The other guy, Chidi, he's 22-7. He's 4-5. He's fireworks. I mean, his wrestling is good. He's not gonna let them take him down. I think that this is gonna be probably first, second round. One of them's gonna get knocked out. I'm not too sure right now who would, but I like the kicks and the punches of Chidi, but the hand skills and just like the berserker style of RoboCop, I mean, you cannot count him out. And he's not scared to go to the ground.
Well, Chidi has a -125 advantage over a +105 for Rodriguez. I've seen Rodriguez wobbled a couple of times. He fights his way through it, but I've seen him wobbled a couple of times. Chidi does have a 5-inch leg reach advantage, excuse me. So if he can jab, if he can keep at distance, 5 inches is a long way. That's a long way to close that distance. I do agree with you on your comments about the RoboCop style of coming forward. RoboCop doesn't know how to retreat. And I think it's going to be a war of attrition. I'm going to pick Chidi to win this one by either a split decision or unanimous. I don't think it's going to be a finish.
I think RoboCop's going to finish him. I think he's going to go in there and he's either going to get knocked out or he's going to knock him out. I don't think it's going to go to a decision.
Okay, so I'm just going to say this, WOS, okay? WOS, Nando. And you know what that means? Walk of shame.
Okay. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. What do we got?
So we got the main event. Corey Sandhagen is 4th. Song Yadong is 10th. Corey Sandhagen shot up real fast, and then he got some tough fights. He lost to Peter Yan. That was Peter Yan beat him in the later rounds. TJ Dillashaw, I think he had the right style. It's just he couldn't put Dillashaw away, and I think they wanted Dillashaw to win. He lost to Aljamain Sterling, which Aljamain Sterling choked him out. He has wins over Frankie Edgar and Marlon Moraes. Now, Song Yadong is 8-1, 4-5. He's Team Alpha Male. He has wins over Marlon Vera, Cheetah Vera, but that was a featherweight, Casey Kenny and Marlon Moraes. So they have the same people. It's an interesting fight because looking at it, I was trying to find a way for Song Yadong to win. It's very tough. If his wrestling is okay. He's with Team Alpha Male, and they're used to they're gonna have to use the game plan of how they beat Dominic Cruz and how they fought against Dillashaw, because it's really, but The problem with it though is Casey Kennedy is way longer than both of them, and the way he fights is not similar to Dillashaw or not. He throws punches and he like slides. He has like a slide style, and he'll slide, and then he loves to slide, come the opposite direction with a knee, with a kick, with a punch, and he keeps himself very, very long. Peter Yan just cut down on him, wrestled him, grappled him, smothered him. I don't know if Song Yadong can do that. So it's really like up in the air. I'm really interested to see what happens. I think if Song Yadong wins, it's going to have to be a decision.
Okay.
There's a lot that Corey Sandhagen has in his tool belt.
Okay. And that's a great analysis. I like the breakdown you did. Now, with all that being said, I think that they've come up with a plan for Song to win this fight. I think they've come up with a plan based on the TJ Dillashaw, because that's a great precursor to this fight, simply for the fact that they've trained with Dillashaw for so many years. Not Song, but Faber and the rest of the crew, and I'm sure they went back and they really analyzed that fight to see, how they could best match up Song's particular skill set, or even developing some new wrinkles in his game based off of that fight, and knowing that Petr Yan, because to me, Petr Yan broke Sandhagen. When I was watching, I was like, how come Sandhagen's not doing anything? He was winning the fight, in my opinion. He was winning that, and Yan didn't go away, and that kind of messed with Sandhagen's brain, and he just kind of stopped throwing. And Petr Yan stepped it up, and he stole that fight. Great fight, but I just saw that Sandhagen, which I never thought I would see, that he would break like that. And I think mentally he broke in that fight in the later rounds. And then I think losing to Dillashaw when it was so close, could have gone either way. I don't think he was robbed by any means. TJ had a lot more damage, obviously, but I don't think he was robbed, of that fight. But to lose again, I think that weighs heavily. In fact, I watched his interview, and he did mention that he was trying to be positive and everything, but he has the kind of mentality where I think he holds on to this stuff a little bit longer than he should, or maybe puts it on a higher pedestal than it needs to be. And so, and I think that's part of Song's strategy and what they're doing with Team Alpha Male. And I think they got a winning plan to beat Sandhagen. And I don't think it's going to be wrestling, though. I think it's going to be in the striking arena that they're going to do that, because Song does hit hard. Sandhagen hits hard too, but I just think they're going to start working on him from a mental aspect during that fight. And watch it carefully, Nando. Watch what happens in that fight, and see if I'm mistaken, because I think that's how they're planning on doing it, is mental warfare, and then taking over from the physical aspect once they see chinks in Sandhagen's armor. Because before Yan, you didn't see many chinks at all in that guy's game. He just seemed to be really good. And then all of a sudden, some little tiny things are exposed, and they've kind of compounded on each other. And based off of the interview that I saw him, that's kind of why I'm leaning towards Song. So I'm picking Song to win this fight, and I do believe it's probably going to be by decision.
Oh, wow. I can see it. I can see it in my mind, him going, because that's how Cody Garbrandt beat Dominic Cruz. Is he predicted the way he was coming, so he would do like, and I forgot the guy they have in Alpha Male, but he does a great Dominic Cruz, almost better than Dominic Cruz. He has the little footwork, and I think they were ready for him to go in a direction, boom, hit him hard, think you're right, but I'm gonna go with Sandhagen. I think Sandhagen's gonna submit him.
Well, he's down 2 in a row, and so Yadong is up. How many in a row did you say?
He's 4 or 5 right now. The height difference is 5'11" to 5'8", so it's not as tall as I thought he was above him. And Song Dong, he's got like great punches, hard punches. He knocks people out. Still gonna go with Sandhagen. I think it's gonna be a submission, or he's gonna catch him with a knee.
And my thing is, Song, watch for the uppercut.
Okay.
Watch for that uppercut, man. He's gonna dip in, and he's gonna come up with an uppercut. He's gonna rock Sandhagen. You watch.
Okay.
All right. Hey, man, we did it. We did it in a timely fashion. This podcast. We still got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left.
Okay.
So I was looking at the next cards that they have, the next events they have, and man, they got some good stuff coming up. That one with Oliveira that's a good card. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. They got some great stuff going on, and I think it's going to be it's already been a fantastic year for MMA. And now I do want to ask you this, because since Knuckle Sandwich, since you came on board, Nando, we've been covering strictly the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to cover Bellator and PFL and one? What are you thinking? Eagle FC? What
I think we could do an episode on some of the bigger fights. I mean, that Demetrius Johnson proves the point that we got the raw end of the deal, which we got Ben Askren, and they got Demetrius, and Demetrius won their title. You know what I mean? Askren makes me so mad. He is a great frisbee golf player, though, or disc golf. So that's something to fall back on.
Well, let me ask you this question from the last card. Did Diaz's stock rise or fall in your eyes, in your opinion?
Oh, he rised. It rose. He did well. He had some great memes, some great things. My favorite part was at the end. His foot's all wet, and he takes off his shoe, and they're like, "You're gonna do a shoe," and he goes, "That's gross." That was my favorite part. That was my favorite part. Me and my son.
How about Hamzat? Rise or fall in your opinion?
I think he's trying to be a villain now, but I don't think it's gonna work. But I think they should have him fight middleweight.
You better hurry. You only got 10 seconds.
I think middleweight's his next fight.
All right, you guys. That's it for us at Knuckle Sandwich MMA. We had a great show. Thanks, Nando. Don't forget to subscribe. Always subscribe. We'll see you on the flip side. Ciao for now, my friends. Ciao for now.
Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich. Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich.